Okay, okay. Hello, hello. Welcome back to another talking video. And, well, if you have seen in the description for the Nickelodeon Memories video, you may have seen that I have listed a few topics that I wanted to talk about, and this is one of them. However, this has the complete title, and as you can see, it is the title of the I Deserve It gift, watching our money. And this video is going to be on the subject of money and emotions, and just some thoughts that have been in my mind for a while, and some advice on how we can handle our emotions and our money. And, well, this subject was inspired from something that my mother had told me about my father. And I would like to share the story and the background on what inspired this subject. And, well, I figure maybe I could start with a picture. Yeah, there is a picture of me and my father. I think I was probably 10 or 11 at that point. And yeah, that was in Cincinnati at a car show. And yeah, my father definitely enjoyed looking at cars and sometimes purchasing cars from the 1950s and the 1960s, and even some newer cars as well. And, well, my father definitely had some good things going for him. My father was a gentleman, and he knew how to work hard, and he treated people very well and kept his language clean. And yes, I definitely learned a lot of really good things from him. And yet, the one thing that my father and I have in common is that during the first 20 years of my life and the first 20 years of his life, there were definitely some unhappy things. And, well, with my father, when he was, at the age of 1 or 2, his parents got divorced. My dad's dad came back from World War II with PTSD and anger issues. And so when my father was very little, his parents got divorced, and my dad pretty much never got to see his dad at all throughout his life. And then my father grew up in a setting where he lived with his mom and her 2 brothers. And it's kind of unusual, but yes, my grandmother Elsie and her 2 brothers, Robert and Billy, ended up living in the same house for their whole lives. Because, well, my grandmother Elsie was now a divorced mom. And then the one brother, Robert, he came close to getting married, but the story is that after a point, the lady that Robert had been seeing decided to break it off with him. And so Robert devoted his whole life to working hard and providing money for everyone. And, well, Robert was not really a source of pain for anyone in the family. But the other brother, Billy, now he was messed up from World War II as well. And He was one of those people who ended up needing his medicine all the time, and sometimes he would be unpredictable in a troubling way. And yeah, my father grew up with feeling, oh, I'm sad that I can never see my father, and I have this one uncle, Billy, who is unpredictable, and it's troubling to be around him. And then I'm sure it did not help my father's confidence at all, but I think it was in high school. My father told me how one time he had asked out about 7 or 8 girls to the dance, and they all said, no, I do not want to go to the dance with you. And so, yeah, my father definitely had some very unhappy things that he grew up with. And, well, the good news is that my father still kept on trucking through and living his life, and he graduated high school and he graduated college, and he found a job at one point, and then he started his own little company, which made him a good amount of money. And my father did eventually find someone to marry, and that was my mom. And so my father definitely just kept on living, and he still treated everyone kindly because that's how he wanted to be treated. And those were the good things about my dad. But I still feel it that my father carried with him the unhappy memories from the early part of his life. And, well, for this subject and the I deserve it gift, I thought about this when we think of my father's story. In 2003, that one uncle, Billy, the one who was troubling to him, he passed away in 2003. And I do think that, of course, my father felt sad that he was gone. But at the same time, I think there were a lot of unhappy memories that came back in my father's mind. And right after that, my father went out and purchased a $90,000 Corvette. And my mother told me, yeah, honey, after Billy passed away, your father went out and purchased a $90,000 Corvette because he felt that he deserved it. He felt that he deserved it. Yeah. And I think that was one of the two ways that my father coped with his bad days and his bad memories. One way was through eating and drinking whatever tasted good, getting a hamburger and fry and a soda at McDonald's. And then the other way was purchasing things because my father had the money. And, well, like so many of us, we think of how when we purchase anything, sometimes we get that rush, because we're excited to purchase something. And, well, I bring this up because with the subject of money, yeah, I think all of us can say that we would like to have a good amount of money in our checking account, which can help us to pay the bills and purchase food and clothing and for stuff like that. And yet, as we make it through life on Earth, well, sure, there are definitely good days, and then there are bad days and good memories, bad memories, and I think that when we have the bad memories and the bad days happen, well, sometimes for some of us, we may feel tempted to cope with the bad stuff by going out and purchasing things. And some people may even fall into that habit kind of often, where they will purchase things a lot. And the problem that can happen is that if we give in to anger and sadness in that way, then we might end up spending too much money, and we could come very close to $0 and 0 cents in our checking account. And I don't think anybody would want that to happen. But I know that it is a real thing that there are people out there who have a shopping addiction, and some people may be coping with the bad stuff by going out and purchasing things. And we may feel tempted to think, yeah, I'm going to go out and buy this really expensive thing, or I'm going to go out and buy stuff very often because I deserve it. And I'm just passing all this along because, we don't want to give in to that thought and really damage our checking account and then be out of money. But rather, I do think it is important to work through our bad memories and bad days, and I hope that we can all have people that we can talk to and people who can support us. And well, something else that I have thought about over time, because I know that I have fallen into this mentality before, and after a while I realized what I was doing, purchasing I deserve it gifts. After a while, I started to think to myself, do I really need this or not? Or can I go out to Goodwill instead? Instead of getting a t-shirt at Cedar Point, which I think a lot of them are now $30 for most of them, maybe I could find a different t-shirt for just $3 at Goodwill. And also think to myself, is this really necessary or not? Because, in all honesty, when my father went out and purchased that $90,000 Corvette, it was not a necessary thing for us to have. Because at that point, in 2003, I think we already had 4 or 5 cars, and at that time, only my parents could drive. And, that's just a lot of money for one more thing that we did not need. And I guess while I'm mentioning this, please do not take this as a way of where I am dissing my father. Okay? I don't want to diss my father. It's just that when I think of the way that I would handle that situation, I would try to think to myself, let's not try and blow a lot of money on something that I don't need. And yeah, maybe there's a different way I could handle this to where I'm not just throwing away a huge amount of money when I'm sad or angry. And that's what I would just encourage everyone out there to remember as well. And as I get closer to the end of this video, I would just like to say a couple of more points. And, well, I've kind of already said it already, but I'll just say it again, that if you out there have ever been through anything sad or troubling in your life, then I do hope that you can find the right people to talk to, and the people who will support you and pray for you. And I do hope that you can find the strength to keep on living and work through these things. And I mean, we can always pray for each other. We can always pray for each other. And we can always pray for healthier ways of coping with the bad stuff. Instead of eating and drinking away our problems or spending our money in a way which could end up to zero, I just hope that we could find ways that are healthy to cope with our problems and find the people who will support you. And also, I have said this before, and well, I will say it again because it's always important, that we should always strive to treat everyone with kindness and honesty and self-control. Because if we do, then yes, we can make a wonderful difference to so many people out there in the world. Opposed to, if we treat people badly, then the people that we treat badly may turn to some unhealthy ways of coping. And one of those unhealthy ways of coping would be through spending and spending and spending their money. And I can think of one person that I know. I've known this person for at least 10 years now. And, well, this lady, yeah, she has been through a couple of things where people did not treat her well. You know, when this lady was 4 years old, her mother got up and abandoned the family. And yeah, that was a troubling thing there. And then when this lady was a teenager and maybe as a young adult as well, there were some guys who mistreated her, and that was troubling as well for her. And I have seen it and I have heard it at least a few times where this lady has said to me and some other people in the group, yeah, I cannot join in on going out to dinner or with this activity because I'm out of money right now. She has been out of money at times because I think one way that she has coped with her problems has been through spending and spending and spending her money on at least some things that she does not really need. And yeah, I know that has been a real thing for her, and that can be a real thing for other people as well. But if we treat people with kindness and honesty and self control, then maybe that really could make other people feel a little bit better, and they could develop healthier habits. And that's what I hope that we can all strive to do. I hope that we can all work through the things that we have been through and treat others with kindness and honesty and self control, and just be careful when you're having a bad day or a bad memory, and try not to make the wallet suffer. But just be careful with how you spend your money when you are having those bad moments. I just wanted to share all of that today, and I do hope that this has all made sense. And I hope that you can all stay well, and we can keep on getting through one day at a time and making it through life, and we can all treat others the way that we want to be treated, with kindness and honesty and self control. So, thank you very much for watching this video today. And yeah, this video should always be here, and there should definitely be some more talking videos coming up really soon. So thank you for watching, and I will see you all again really soon for some more videos. Thank you.